If you take anything I've ever said, okay, anything I've ever done, right now, write this down in memory, okay, in blood if you have to. This will not change your life. It will not change my life, but it's more important than either of ours. This has the ability, what I'm going to tell you, to change human history and human future projection, our future. It is dealing directly with your children and your literally family tree. If we know that these traits of fear, mistrust, anxiety that end up as adults manifesting themselves in codependency, okay, alcohol abuse, any number of social anxieties can be resolved in childhood by having a primary care provider present and available and consistently there, you're going to change the world. Study after study recently have been coming out showing that neglect is the primary source of abuse. Simple neglect, abandoning your child. Who does that? Hardly anybody. Here's the catch, and it's significant, and it's not getting a lot of news. Children that are put in daycare for more than 20 hours a week suffer the same maleffects as children physically abused. There's your neglect. Daycare. Making a conscious choice not to have primary care provider there for the first 3 years of life. I'm not talking a life sentence, the first 3 years. If we can change that equation, have each and every one of you today just dedicate yourselves to creating that envelope for your child, we can change the world right there. And it starts with your children. I can't prevent what happened to you. I can't prevent what happened to me. The anxieties we had because of it, our parents may have not known. We may have been led astray, but the consequences are still here. We can change the world by the manner in which we treat our children in the first 3 years of life. Okay? That is utterly fascinating to me, and it's utterly attainable. Okay? And again, the world can be a statistic. You and your child does not have to be. All right? Now, you'll have also heard other elements. What happens when it's not just neglect? What happens when in early youth you just don't go through a situation of benign neglect? Okay, because, and keep in mind, a child doesn't understand when mother's not around or when the primary caregiver is around. They're just not there. They can't rationalize it. They're fearful. They just feel abandoned. Well, what happens when you actually have real, honest-to-God trauma? When you're truly fucking abused? What happens then? What occurs then? Do you know what the results are? It's not codependency. It's not substance abuse. It's not any number of behavioral disorders. No. We got a great one. You end up becoming a sociopath. You end up becoming a psychopath. Extreme narcissism. Okay? Any of those personality disorder, borderline personalities, that's where that stuff comes from, non-genetically. I think there could be a possibility of a genetic component, but we know external factors, social development, this is absolutely true and utterly preventable. All right? Now, in an earlier speech that I gave previously, I talked specifically about what to do about, you know, when you have a real world monster in your life, when you're dealing with a narcissist, when you're dealing with a sociopath, when you're dealing with a psychopath in your life. And I'm telling you, if you're going out in the environment, dating environment, you're going to come across these. Why? Because you're going to be drawn to the same environment they choose to excel in. Okay, one of the fascinating ones is if you want to come across a sociopath, go to a nightclub. I'm not kidding. Go to a nightclub, okay? That is a proving ground for sociopaths and psychopaths, okay? They thrive there. Take that into account the next time you look at that environment and see how many people there are not just unstable, but deeply unstable, okay? The problem is you're going to be attracted to it like a moth to it for all these biomechanical reasons. It's fascinating. But just keep that in mind. If we're going to change the world, we can do it right here. All right? You want to strengthen your family tree and leave a phenomenal fucking legacy? that I did better, I knew better, I did better when I knew better, and this is the gift I give my child, right there, first 3 years of your child's life. Dedicate yourself, make sure your life is in a position to be able to achieve that. If you do that and drop dead, you've made the world a better place. You've been successful.